relationship goals. You know, we all look on social media. We see the Jay-Z, Beyonce's. We see all the celebrities with their significant other. Mm-hmm. How do you think seeing these images on a daily basis impacts your ability to connect with someone?
It doesn't.
Okay, you got one.
And you know, to be honest, that's how I feel about it, and it's such that's so problematic. The relationship goes hashtag it as a culture in and of itself is it's just problematic because comparison is literally the thief of joy. We don't know what the hell Beyonce and Jay-Z have going on in their inner dynamic. Everything was all peaches and cream until the elevator slid.
Yeah, to the elevator, right?
So all of a sudden we got this album now. We like, what is she talking about? What did he do? But you know, before that we just want to be just like them. But you don't know the inner dynamics of inner workings of what they have going on. Gucci Mane and Keisha K.O. Oh my God, they spinning this and they always do you really know it?
I said shit, you educated nothing. I don't know.
That's what my whole thing is. Relationship goals for me is my relationship because that's the only one that I know. I experience it.
And you can
and I tell people all the time, yo, why you looking? Even Barack Obama and Michelle Obama. We can say what we want to, but we don't know what's going on really inside of their relationship. So it really bothers me. When I see that joint, and bro, I swear I feel when I see people say, oh, Jay-Z and Beyonce goals. Sometimes I say, wait a year, watch, we'll see something. Because when stuff gets exposed, then you're like, oh, that's not goals no more. No, don't switch up now.
Yeah. And the biggest thing we gotta realize too, they're humans just like us. They just got a little bit more money, and they're famous.
And notoriety.
They're human. Yeah, they're human.
And the thing about that, their problems are different.
Oh yeah, they got different problems. They got different type of problems.
I think that's the one thing people are really trying to say. That's the goals, because they don't really expose the relationship. We just see people getting money together. So then it's that's relationship goals. I think the success of with your partner and having a business with your partner is what everybody's trying to latch on to. But we just say relationship goals.
I think to take it deeper,
I can take that, but you may be putting something a little more on that. I think people want the dynamics that they imagine people to have, and just imagine. With that alone, what if that's all they have? What if all they do is get money together? What if he's not speaking her love language?
But that's what I was saying. I think at the root of it all, I think that when we say relationship goals, it really speaks to how unhappy a lot of people are.
Yeah.
People aren't really happy. When they see relationships and couples on social media, they're like, oh my God, I want to feel that way.
Is it how unhappy they are or how inadequate they're made to feel? Because you can be perfectly happy until you see something like that, and then you're like, dang, I wish we could be like that, babe.
But then I think that's still rooted in happiness and self-worth, though.
It's rooted.
If I gotta look at somebody else to determine how I should feel, then that's something internal that I need to fix.
Sometimes you don't gotta look at it. Sometimes it's dead in your face.
But see, this
you're
is
not
the thing.
seeking it out.
This is why, because I feel like I get what we're saying, but the way that we have this conversation is disingenuous, right? And it is so because whether you explicitly say that a thing is goals or not, everyone, whether you believe it or not, and if you're not, everybody's emulating something, right? None of the things that you're doing, even if you believe them, are original ideation. It came from somewhere, right? And it's based on something. And if you think it came from nowhere, you pulled it out of the atmosphere, and it's your first and original thought, you are delusional. I'm telling you that for a fact. The best thing we can do is control the things that inspire us, right? So what I'm saying is, the problem is that we imagine, everybody who's on the other side, so there's two dynamics. There are people who look at things that are happening on the internet and want that, and that's a problem in and of itself. There's a whole other part of the population that believes that they are uninfluenced by the things that they see altogether, which is equally problematic. It's in your best interest to say that I want to find people whose dynamic is worthy of emulation, right? And emulation and duplication are not the same thing, right? This is an aspiration to get to a level of health and balance that you all have, right? And we may strike it differently, right? But the end goal is the same. Happiness is happiness, peace is peace, love is love, joy is joy. It's gonna look different, but we might both get it, right? And how you're doing it may inspire. So for example, I have friends who I think are better at, so me and Michi friends now, right? Michi is a better compromiser than I am, right? And I'm inspired to compromise by Michi, though our compromise doesn't look the same, right? And so I emulate that quality in her. I think that's a healthy practice. The problem is that they look to the internet and not to their classmates. And not to their parents, and not to, you're focusing on things that are unattainable and outside of your
what
reach.
you don't know.
Yeah.
What you don't know.
You don't
But
know.
if you
You
say,
know me. You see
so
my
I know my
life.
dad, right? And so this works both ways, because this is the thing. I know my dad. I know that he went to work every day. I know he paid the bills. I know he loved my mother. I know he slapped her on the butt every now and then, make her feel beautiful. I know he took care of us, right? And so I emulate that. But I also, because I recognize that nothing that I'm doing is an original production. This is a reproduction of something. That I also reproduce the not so good things, right? So my dad's tendency to clam up and not share, right? Or to take on the burdens of the entire household, because that's your responsibility. So I say, yo, I was struggling with this bill, but I didn't tell you that because I didn't want to rob you of your joy. You was having a good ass Monday. I'm having a bad Monday. But I think it's good enough that I have a bad Monday and you have a good Monday, then we both have a bad Monday, right? Yeah. But that's something I learned that doesn't fucking work. It's a bad idea. We should just both have a bad Monday.
So, you know what I mean? What you talking about? I think you're talking about like the motivational aspect of like emulating somebody, but also like it's a difference in seeing something on social media and saying I want that, opposed to being influenced by somebody. I look at Dr. Eric Thomas all the time and how he talks about how he treats his wife, how he as a man should command his relationship, and also just execute things within the role of a husband. I see that and I'm like, okay, boom, I didn't have that example growing up. I bet, I like that. So yes, I understand that I'm influenced by that, but I don't want that. Like, I don't want his hair.
Real quick, because we had a conversation,
like
and this is Australian, so that's unfortunate, but we were talking about discernment. We talked about the ability to appraise. The reason why that's different from you is because you understand that emulate and duplicate have a separate definition. But there's a good portion of the population who I would bet don't know the difference between the two, right? That there is no balance. And so they say emulation for them is duplication, right? And why wouldn't they think that? Why would you believe? There is no good reason to believe that people who present happily are not happy, right? Why wouldn't you take them at their word? So if you take it at face value, me and my girl, we out on the sidewalk and why would you think that when we close the door, I'm gonna slap her ass? Like, why would you think that? You know what I mean? And so they don't have any good reason to doubt that. What they're not considering, perhaps, is that there are better examples.
It's two sides of it.
Right?
I'm looking at it like you can look at it like it's beauty on this side, but then people are looking at just the frame. They're not paying attention to the large picture. Like there's a larger picture to it, like what goes on behind the scenes and how people feel, what they're doing at home. You know, like people can grow outside of that, so you need to focus on your own love, what you got going on. Because that can be cool. That can be cool, you know what I'm saying? But like just looking at it, like, okay, maybe I do want to take a sexy picture like that on the beach. That's cool. Feed me your ideas. Like what you were saying, the inspiration. You need to take in and eat, you know, what the good things are instead of getting the bad stuff, because that's what you're going to get back out.
But AD, what you said, it's a double-edged sword. Because just like you said, because these people present this way, or have no reason to, you know, not think that they're happy, but you have no reason to either. You know what I mean? Like, you have no reason to. Like, you don't know what happened, because as much as you take after your father and you saw what he did, you do not know the dynamic, the inner workings of his relationship with your mother. You don't know that.
And I'm saying, Michi, my only point, because I don't disagree, I'm saying you don't need to know all of that.
True.
If I look at Jay-Z and Beyonce and I say I want that, and what that means is that they're rich and at least visibly happy, I don't need it. Doesn't
True.
It actually doesn't matter that they may be unhappy, right? Because that's not the part of the relationship that I'm talking about, right? But if we do that, it's to say, if we take what you all are saying at face value, then it is to say that if we take that image, that we have to take everything that goes behind it, and that's not true.
That's true.
We have the choice to eat the meat and leave the bone, right?
Yeah,
I think my issue is when we speak into the atmosphere. I'm a big proponent of there's power in the tongue, right? So by saying I want to be like Jay-Z and Beyonce, that's my issue.
What about people who say I want to be like Jesus?
You
feel me? Like
you can't.
No. I'm saying there's an entire population of people for which that emulation is healthy, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Before you disagree with me, there are people who say, I want to be like Jesus, compare myself to Jesus. Ain't a thief of joy. Nobody goes into church and say, oh, you want to be like Jesus, you're going to make yourself unhappy. That's not how that works.
That's a whole religion.
I think
that's a different dynamic, bro.
But nobody
the thing is, the responsibility that we have to ourselves is most of the time we're not realistic. We want all the good, but we don't want none of the bad.
Which is
we don't want none of the bad.
Which is his thing of the power of the tongue, because you. I mean, it's two different things. I get what you're saying. Like, I see what I see, and I want that. I'm not talking about what they have behind closed doors. But in the speaking of, I want what they have, what you see may come with something else.
Exactly.
Like, when you're speaking it out, I want the richness that Beyonce and Jay-Z have, so what we don't know is that in and of itself, behind closed doors.
So
Some
if I
people
speak something into the atmosphere, and when I speak it in the atmosphere, it becomes life, then me saying certain things will bring this upon me. So I say, yo, I want to be just like you, and then I get what I asked for. That's the issue for me. Let's say that we want to be successful, and we want to make this work. So how are we going to do it our way?
Yeah.
Because like I said, you want to be like your dad, but maybe you don't communicate the same way your dad, or maybe your wife isn't just like your mom. So you have to do things a different way with your relationship. So your relationship goals should be your relationship and building it up to a level that is conducive to both of y'all.
Everything is based on perception. So the way that you view it and the way other people view it and the way that they take it in, the way you take it in, like I said, I may view Jay-Z and Beyonce, I'm looking like, oh, they getting it. You know, you might look at it like, oh, I just want the millions. I'm looking at it like, how did they hustle to get there? And what can we do? I don't care. That's none of my business. Like, we can hustle in another way on our level. We're going to do what we do, and that's cool what they got. I'm going to appreciate it. If somebody else is doing it this way, okay, let them have their fun.
I'm going to give a perspective from being married, right? And taking a step back and understanding that in a marriage, you have to continue to build, right? And so one thing that I think I learned was that as she progresses and as our relationship progresses, things will change. And I saw things that I felt like I was inconsistent in. And I do see it in different features, not just people, because maybe I didn't grow up and my dad didn't touch my mom the way that I know my wife needs to be touched, because that's her love language, right? And I see Barack Obama do it, and that's what I need to be like, right? So I think on the perspective is just understanding what you need to work on in your relationship and what she needs, right? And then and just seeing and taking what you can. If all you get is from social media, just taking it in and just figuring out.
Where's the line from admiring somebody and being inspired?
That's the individual. That's the individual.
A lot of people want the reward without the work, and I think when we look at couples and goals and all that, that's what we're trying to say. You can see somebody and think that they're happy and be like, oh, okay, bet, that's happy, that's what I gotta do. But you don't know the exact things that lead up to.
The reason why I don't understand why we're having that conversation is because you've never seen somebody say, I want to be Jay-Z and Beyonce without the work. Ain't nobody saying that shit.
But they saying they want to be Jay-Z and Beyonce. They're not acknowledging the work, bro.
No, bro.
You can't be Kim and Kanye without a sex tape. You can't.
But this is what I'm saying, D-Wade. Nobody says, oh my God, I can't wait to get my dream job so I can work 13 hours a week and do. It's not consistent.
But that's realistic.
It's not. No. All I'm saying is that we have embarked on this entire conversation with the assumption that people who idolize and emulate other people have zero understanding about how they got there. And I'm saying it is a faulty assumption.
But are you assuming that they do?
No, I'm only saying that because we don't know that we shouldn't say so, right? All I'm saying, my entire point, my only point really, was that I think that there is room for healthy emulation, and that if you have none, if you have no room in your life for people to give you positive examples about what you could be and could do and could believe, then you have shut yourself off, and you are an island, and you will remain that. That's all I'm saying.
We agree with that.
So no,
I think everybody
so then the other
collectively
side,
agreed
right,
on that.
The other side, which is what I'm getting at, what I understand to be you all's point, is that duplication is dangerous, right? Because you don't know what you're duplicating and what you're walking into. And that if you speak and hope for an exact replication of what somebody else has, that you have to take all the demons that come with that. And you may or may not be aware of what those things are.
I think that's problematic when it comes to forming relationships.
I don't disagree.
Yeah,
I'm saying that all I'm saying is that I think that if we're going to acknowledge that there is potential death and damage and duplication, that you need to, as a responsible person, acknowledge that there is room for healthy emulation. Otherwise, that's what I'm saying.
We agree on
so
that.
Otherwise,
but it's still like
putting that out in the
murky
atmosphere
water.
so that people understand that while you may not need to, or it's probably not best that you go on the internet and say, I want to be just like Jay-Z and Beyonce, that it is in your best interest as a single and or married person to find persons in your life display qualities and a
Oh,
quality,
most definitely.
you know what I mean, that you is worthy of emulation.
That's it right there.
Yeah. Peace and blessings, good people.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? We just want to thank y'all for tuning in to season 3, Black Fly on the Wall.
Aren't you happy that you get me, a woman's perspective? Black Fly on the Wall is typically about men and their thoughts. I like to add my 2 cents.
And that's a wrap. Definitely had a good time speaking on different topics. I hope you all enjoyed it. Share this, comment. It's meant to. Damn, I need to start over. And that's a wrap. That's it. Damn, bro.
You got the chair off far back. I'm sure I got the cool. Thank you all for tuning in. Check out season. Thank you all for tuning in to season 3 of Black Fly on the Wall.
Thanks for rocking with us. Black Fly on the Wall, season 3. And that's a wrap for this episode. We hope you enjoyed. It's meant to spark conversations in your home and create change.
What's good, world? It's Aaron Lod, producer of Black Fly on the Wall. I just want to thank you for tuning in, sharing, liking, commenting. Please subscribe below to our YouTube channel and share with your friends. Talk about it in the barbershop, hair salon, wherever you may be. But we appreciate your time and your effort into listening to what we have to say. We hope you enjoy the topics. God bless.
This ain't no cinema, I'm finished as a swindler. Say sweeping up these chains like I never been a prisoner. Exchange these chains for angels in my perimeter. Never be the same, I'm flawed, but I'm forgiven, bruh.